Internets! Hello, you lovelies! Let's talk about Creature Commandos Episode 5. This show continues to add emotion, continues to add action, continues to add intrigue to the point I don't actually know the mystery, and that feels oh so very good. If you're new to this page, please hit that subscription bell. I am growing this page out, and it feels amazing to have conversations with folks about the comics themselves, and this is a page that really focuses on comic books. I love comic books, the actual books, and I discuss news and reviews of those as well as movie news and reviews every single week. So if you're into pop culture, if you're into comics, if you're into movies, please hit that subscription bell. And most of all, I want to have a conversation. That's why I love so many people being on this page, because I love the conversations had in the comments below. So please let me know what you thought of episode 5. Let me know what you think of the season so far. Just let me know how you're vibing with Creature Commandos. Also, it helps the algorithm. Hit that like so I know that you are in fact liking this commentary. Let's talk about episode 5 of Creature Commandos. This was a very interesting episode because there were absolutely moments of levity, but this was probably the most emotionally driven episode. We have the mounting intrigue over Princess Alana. Is she actually duplicitous? Has Amanda Waller been hoodwinked? We got the data, the information that things were going awry from an actual villain, and the claim that basically, you can't falsify that information and that it must be true, but we don't know if that was the professor herself or whoever was impersonating the professor at the time. So this episode, we found out that Clayface was in fact impersonating that professor. We saw that crazy scene in the college where lesbians and the completely inappropriate behavior of what we now know to be Clayface. But what point did he take over? This is proof that's uncut. That sneeze out of nowhere. At what point did he take over the professor's body? And is the vision from Circe, the villain of the show, actually credible? So that's very intriguing because maybe they're in cahoots. Maybe they're working together. Maybe Princess Alana isn't in fact evil. And I really love, much like with the Suicide Squad, that scene with Bloodsport and Peacemaker and everyone else where they just murk all of those warriors, all those, civilian folks in that town, and then we found out they were the good guys. That scene was so impactful of like, oh, the Suicide Squad, they're not squeaky clean by any means. So this could be one of those situations, or it could be a double blind, and Princess Alana is actually evil because she's been coming pretty hot and heavy at Frank Grillo's character of Rick Flag Sr. What's the situation there? So I love that Rick Flag is one eyeline, and we've got the entirety of Task Force M as the other eyeline, who is doing their job and on a mission to take out Princess Alana and that whole thing. So that's the A plot that's happening. Our nice little B plot is that we still have the ongoing adventures of Frankenstein and Rick Flag, and I love that we are experiencing this weird little buddy duo and how impossibly charming, as we talked about last week, Frankenstein is. But at the end of the day, he is very much a bad person. He's a stalker. He's over emotional. He's temperamental. He's a Frankenstein. He's a monster. But he's so charismatic and so charming, played masterfully by David Harbour, that you start forgetting how we were introduced to him. We met him way back and saw him as a monster, as a stalker, as someone that is just trying to control the bride. But that was weeks ago, which is another reason I like this being weekly, not a binge, because we got to live with that, let it fade from my mind a little bit, let someone be charming and charismatic, and that's how, sociopaths and people that are pervasive are. They make you forget all the bad, and they're manipulative enough to make you think you like them, and then boom, they kill old ladies. That was intense. That actually was one of the more impactful animation genre deaths, where you connect to this character so quickly, this old woman, the relationship between the two of them, the dog, all of that. And when he takes her out, it is, and you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, and there's a little shoe drop joke. It's crazy. And I also wonder, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What do you think the methodology behind that was? Why do you think he killed her? Is it because he was developing a kindness? Is it because he doesn't leave anyone alive? Is it because it was a mercy killing in some way? He thought that, she was alone, but he found her alone, so I don't know how that works. But why do you think he killed her, other than just, he's a bad guy? He's Frankenstein's monster. He is the monster. So I really love that dynamic, those two characters. I really like the action in this show, the mounting action in that giant fight with the actual current still team of Creature Commandos was very dynamic, very interesting. The show has found really captivating ways to keep the action dynamic and evolving and changing. I really want, in these last two episodes, I would love a Dr. Phosphorus this episode. I'd love to find out more about him. I feel like he's one of the characters we haven't really had a spotlight on. We had that very traumatic Weasel spotlight in the last episode. This episode, we dabbled more into Frankenstein with his big flashback that ended in her death. So we've had flashbacks for the Bride, for Weasel, for, we haven't had Rick Flag yet, but we've spent a lot of time with him, and I'm sure we're going to see more of Rick Flag throughout the other things in the DCU, which is tricky because it looks like he died here. Is that going to be a revival? Is that going to be a multiverse? Is he just playing possum? What's the situation with this Rick Flag death? Because it's a very James Gunn thing to do, as we said with episode 3, killing G.I. Robot, to kill off someone as soon as you're endeared to them. So in the grand tradition of James Gunn's style, I could easily see Rick Flag being dead traditionally, but Frank Grillo being cast in all these mediums and him going on to other things, I'm very intrigued what that means for this iteration of Rick Flag. Are we about to find a thing? And I'm also wondering more and more, we saw this crazy in the insanity of being overwhelmed by the fact that we got Clayface. Like last week, we got all those heroes, now Clayface canon in the DCU. Big Clayface fan, blew my mind. I was so tired when it happened, my brain like shorted out, like I couldn't comprehend that we just saw Clayface. But in the scene with Clayface, this character he's embodying plays Xbox, and he plays a Mortal Kombat game, and those Mortal Kombat voice actors are in the credits. That is interesting because these DC characters and Mortal Kombat, they're all in this one universe in video games. And every time we've seen something multiversal, like there's live action stuff on the TV, the video game is in the video game graphics, that image of Zac Efron on the phone, I'm wondering if we're going to get cross-medium stuff. Like, are we going to get Who Framed Roger Rabbit-esque things? We know we're getting the Dynamic Duo movie, which is Robin and Nightwing and like Damian Wayne and Dick Grayson, and it's going to be a mix of animation, live action, CGI, and puppetry. So we know we're getting a mixed medium thing already. Are we going to get a lot of mixed mediums in the DCU? Because it looks so cool here in an animated show to have bits of live action, bits of video games, all very canonically. And it makes me think in a meta sense, we in live action in our universe are watching animation in this universe. Is there anything to the fact that animation is watching in live action? Is there anything to the fact that we're going to go multiversal to get into the DCU? I mean, we're seeing this giant spread, multiverse, and I'm really intrigued by the idea that as we get into the DCU, the way it shares universe is by using different mediums to tell different stories in different multiverses. Is Earth 2 going to be a different format? Are we ever going to touch on that? It's very exciting because multiversal stuff really works when you let it be playful and interesting visually, and this show is doing that a lot, and it's the first thing in the DCU. So to establish the DCU as multiple mediums from the jump really allows you to play as you go on, and especially with that puppetry announcement, especially with everything going on, a big thing I got out of this episode was the multiversal question of what's going to be the established norm since this universe starts animated, evolves as soon as next year with Superman into live action, and we've met this Superman, but was that the same Superman? Is this the same Rick Flag? I'm so curious because everyone cast in this is cast in video games, in movies, in live action, animation. Like there's so much to it. So this episode overall really worked for me. Episode 4 is still my favorite, not to like set a hierarchy, but what episode 4 accomplished in all of its multitudes is crazy. I'm really digging what episode 5 is able to do emotionally. I was genuinely surprised by that death with Frankenstein, like with him killing that woman. Genuinely had forgotten how much I need to hate Frankenstein for what he did to the Bride, him being the villain of the series. Genuinely don't know if Princess Alana is good or bad. These are all very effective writing tropes because of the show being so surprising, and I'm really excited for the surprise of whatever's happening with Rick Flag Sr. So overall, I would love to hear what you guys think of the show. Did you like the A-plot still moving forward in that foreign nation? Do you think any of the other Creature Commandos are going to bite it in the next 2 episodes? Do you think everyone we have now makes it into the DCU? And do you think that we get any flashbacks in the final 2 episodes? Do we further explain Dr. Phosphorus? Do we further explain, I think her name is the beautiful Mira. I'm so bad at them. Irene, I think it is. The fish woman in the bubble. We don't have a lot of her backstory yet. And I gotta say, her acting is so incredible that she's so full of emotion that I'm immediately captivated by her without a backstory. And the same with Phosphorus. I just really want to know more about those 2 characters. It's very effective. Overall, this show really, really works for me. I'm very impressed. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think I'm crazy with the mixed medium idea? Do you think we're going to see an array of mediums to explain the multiverse in the DCU? Or do you think it's just going to be mixed media like this? Let me know in the comments below. Please hit that like. Please subscribe if you aren't already. Hope you're enjoying this Creature Commando journey as much as I am, and I hope you're enjoying the journey with me on it, because I've really enjoyed talking about some crazy characters. And guys, we got Clayface. It's getting real. I'm so excited for this new DCU. I hope you are too. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. See you next week for more of this, and throughout the week, lots more to come. Everything's ramping up. It's pretty crazy. All right, much love, guys. See you soon. Bye.